Hey everybody, it's Mr. Buro from Staten Tech, and I'm just going to do a quick TinkerCAD demo in creating a fidget spinner body, and I'll put the bearings in it also, even though you don't really need that for 3D printing. So these are the specs that you're going to have to understand when it comes to creating this thing. A bearing has an outer diameter of 22 millimeters, an inner diameter of 8 millimeters, and a depth or height of 7 millimeters. So I've created that ahead of time, showing, you can see that this has a diameter of 22 and a depth of 7. So I'm just going to take this body, copy it, and I'll bring it over into like an empty area of the workspace right here. And what you want to do for the most part is work in the orthographic view, so the measurements are clear, and do everything from a top-down perspective as much as possible. So the body itself does have this space in between where the bearings are, and I've estimated that space to be about 4 millimeters. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a disc here around this thing. Use the duplicate function, and the duplicate function copies the item directly in place for the most part. It's a little bit more complex than that. But while it's still selected, I will click this and change this to 30, which will put 4 millimeters extra on the left and the right. I'm going to ungroup this thing so it has no more centerpiece to it. I will color it slightly different color and align them by center. Okay, so now I know that the red piece is 30 millimeters with 4 millimeters all around. Next, I'm going to duplicate it again, and I'm going to slide one set so it exactly overlaps that 4 millimeters. And I will hit the duplicate button again, and it'll actually repeat the duplication for me with the same translation as well. So that's perfectly aligned, the three of them. I'll now use this piece as my center. Next, I'm going to grab this set again, and I'm going to duplicate it and rotate it 60 degrees. Duplicate again, and it should repeat the rotation. So I have a lot of overlapping figures in the middle, and that's okay because I'll clean it up later. But for now, I have everything in position where I want it to be. Now the red discs I won't need in these particular areas because I'm going to be using the green discs to do the cutting. Also in the center, I need a larger red disc, so I will delete these until there's none left, and then undo the last one so it's still there. And I will hold Alt and Shift and grow this disc so it covers the gaps with the green parts over here and the red parts. So there's no gaps perceivable in that particular area. And I'll also make sure that the depth of this item is appropriate, which should be 7 millimeters. So that looks about right, where I can now create the body. I'm going to right away take the green parts and turn them into holes. And then I'm going to join them with all of the red parts. First, I select the red parts, and then the holes. And if I hit group, it should make the outer body, which it did. Now I just need to make the holes for the bearings. This can get a little tricky. Watch as I do this. I'm going to duplicate this green one. And then while the duplicate is selected, I'm going to increase its size, drop it down deeper so it cuts all the way through. I'm going to ungroup it so there's no hole in it anymore. Turn it transparent and prepare to make a cut. I will do this for all 4 sets. Duplicate, row, ungroup, delete the middle hole, shrink it down. Whoops, I just shifted it. Turn it into a hole. This one is proving a little bit more problematic to choose. I got it though. Duplicate, row, ungroup, delete the hole, sink it down, make it a hole. And the last one over here, duplicate, row, ungroup, delete the hole, sink it down, turn it into a hole, and I should be good to go to cut out those bearings, the bearing holes. I'll select here, here, and here, and here to get all 4 holes, and then the red body, and then I group. And as you can see, I now have my well-cut fidget spinner body that is separate from the holes. The only thing that you have to check is that there are probably lots of duplicate center green pieces, and I can take that off. So I just created this mathematically correct fidget spinner body, and I have placeholder bearings. But if I were to 3D print this, I would not print it with the bearing pieces because those you'd have to purchase. So they actually work as bearings. You'd only be printing this body. Further modifications to this are definitely suggested, making the edges rounder and adding different items to it to make it a little bit more fancy. But mathematically speaking, I was just trying to use a little bit of clever movement and technique to get around the limitations that are built into TinkerCAD in order to produce a mathematically accurate fidget spinner body. Thank you very much.